evening, rockers. Vegas Rock got us here on the rocks. Total entertainment coming to you live from somewhere off the Las Vegas Strip. Tonight, Love Sick Drug. This is a great band that my friend, shout out to Mr. Dave Tedder, uh, has kindly enough hooked us up tonight. So we're going to talk to them in just a minute. Guys, we've got Love Sick Drug coming in, so let's let him in. Wow, that's a pretty powerful picture. Wow.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I just see a
Cool.
picture of you right now.
Cool. Let me see here. Trying to figure out how to.
There we
There we go.
go.
Howdy.
Howdy. Hey, welcome to On the Rocks. Big shout out to Mr. Dave Tedder for
Yes.
connecting us. I cannot wait to hear more about your band. You guys
Cool.
are from Dallas, Fort Worth area?
Correct. Yeah. Mostly
Okay.
Dallas.
Okay. Why don't we get right to it? Let's talk about how this band was formed and what you guys did it prior pandemic, right?
Yeah. Just before it, actually.
Yeah. So tell us how it went about.
Well, basically, I worked with Billy Blair in his other project, Junk. I kind of did a fill-in thing for him, and
Okay.
he really liked the way we kind of vibed when we worked together. And I had another band that I songwrite for and everything else. It's more of a metal band, and so he hit me up and he's like, "Dude, I would really love to do something with you. You care if I hit you up later?" And I'm like, "Sure, man." And the problem is, I get approached with that all the time. There's always like 10 people, "Oh, I want to work with you," and you never hear anything of it. So I'm like,
Right,
whatever.
right.
And he calls me up like probably beginning of 2019-ish, somewhere around there, and goes, "Hey, you ready to do it?" I'm like, "Yeah, I guess, sure, let's do this then." And so he had already kind of handpicked some people that he wanted to go with. And we started with them. Some of them didn't vibe, so we kind of did some switching out and everything else. But it's kind of me and him are kind of the core when it comes to the songwriting duo, kind of the
Okay.
Lennon McCartney thing. And then Erin, the singer, she kind of comes in and kind of fills it out. And then we got Fernando and Chris that came in later. That's actually members of my other band.
Okay.
And I just know those guys are reliable and everything else. So I was like, these are the
Right.
guys to use. I've worked with them. They're easygoing. They're solid. And so, yeah, I mean, it's gelled really well. But that's pretty much how it all started, is just kind of Billy going, "Hey, I really want to work with you. Let's build something."
Yeah, the band name itself is really killer. Like it's really
Yeah.
like it makes you what's these guys all about kind of thing,
he
you know?
Yeah, he really was in love with the LSD
Yeah.
abbreviation. He's like, "Dude, we got to do something with that," because he had a former band with Nikki McKibben of American Idol and all that stuff that was Love Stricken Demise, and it kind of went a little bit, but not really that far.
Right.
And so it was one of those. They did 4 or 5 songs, and that was it. And he's like, "Man, I hate losing that abbreviation just because of that band. So what if we do something completely different but keep that abbreviation?" So then we were just kind of brainstorming. And
Yeah.
yeah, it kind of worked out. It kind of
Yeah,
sticks.
it
Everybody
totally
notices it.
totally fits your vibe for sure.
Oh
So,
yeah. Oh yeah. It's
yeah,
it's it's
so
killer.
let's talk about your area now. How's rock and roll faring in your part of the world there in Texas?
Oh man. How do I say this without insulting a lot of people? It's DFW sadly right now is a tribute wasteland. And don't get me wrong, I've got some friends that play in tributes, so I'm
Oh,
not
well,
crapping
wait.
on them or
Now I'll
anything.
stop you right there. I'm in Vegas,
Uh,
and this is the tribute
yeah.
capital of the world, my friend.
Oh yeah.
So this
Yeah, you
isn't
guys started
anything
it.
new to me, but go ahead.
It's just they've really leaned into it here, where it used to when I first started, because I've been playing in the Dallas scene since 2000.
Right?
And there was a very solid original scene back then. And there was clubs that's all they played, and they had such great reputation. You wouldn't even care who's playing. You just go to that club
Right.
because you're like, it's going to be a good band on the weekends. And just more and more, there's just everybody doesn't want to hear anything new. And so it's tough here. And I've said it before in public, so this is not anything anybody's used to not hearing from me. But I always say, you want to make it in Dallas, you got to get big somewhere else, come back, and then they're going to all act like they've been there the whole time. I
Right.
can't count how many friends of mine have done that.
Yeah, and unfortunately, my friend, that's pretty much the case with
Yeah.
every band I've spoken with. Your hometown is great. It's like a security blanket, but unfortunately, you got to get rid of that blanket
Oh
and
yeah.
get out there because there is a lot more visibility when you get out of your home area.
Oh yeah, and your hometown takes you for granted. They're like, ah, we'll catch them on the next one. They'll be playing all the time. So yeah,
Right.
it sucks.
Yeah. So how are you guys working the rock scene there? Are you guys playing more shows out of Dallas?
We're gonna be doing that this year. It's one of those
Okay.
things that we needed to really kind of get a lineup gelled out first because we were kind of swapping, especially drummers. We were like Spinal Tap for a while going through drummers.
Okay.
And so we were like, okay, once we get a solid lineup that we know is going to be reliable, that's willing to hit the road with us, we've already got a van, all that stuff. So we're going to be doing that. Up to this point, we've been either opening up for a lot of nationals here. We play with a lot of nationals here. We did Tesla last year. We played with them at House of Blues and everything. We're doing Gene Simmons this year. We're playing with him at House of Blues again. So we're kind of aligning ourselves with some bigger shows. We're not just playing any old show. Basically, if
Right.
we're doing a show, we try to make it a special event.
Well, yeah, of course. Anything surrounding a major opening, you're opening, I mean, for Gene Simmons. I mean, come on
Oh
now.
yeah. Oh yeah.
This is like the big time. And especially if you're even doing it at the House of Blues, hey, kudos to you, man. Because let me tell you, those gigs are hard to book.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We were very thankful when we got the Tesla show. We played with Tesla, Kurt Deemer. Tesla was amazing. They were nice as hell to us, and everything else. House of Blues was great to us. So we're like, wow. So this is what it's like to actually be treated with some respect versus these little hole in the wall bars where they're like, "You're lucky we're putting you on the stage." Just like
Yeah,
I
it's
don't want to do
funny
those
you
gigs.
mentioned Kurt Deemer. I interviewed him. He is one of the most amazing, underrated singers, rock
Oh
singers
yeah,
out there. His band
yeah.
is
We were.
killer.
I honestly had never heard of him up till we opened with it, played with him, and I was like, "Oh shit, okay, well, crap." It's like I had no idea, and it was just like, "Yeah, he's solid." So yeah, no, he's
Yeah.
really good.
And that guy's on the road. He does not like, he stays on the road, which is great.
Oh
So
yeah,
yeah, kudos to
it's like
him.
Alice Cooper.
Oh,
It's like Alice Cooper. Alice Cooper never sleeps. I don't think he
yeah.
just stays on the road.
He just sleeps with a snake, but that's okay.
Yeah, it's us. We
That's
allow
another
that.
show. That's another show. But so how do you categorize your sound? If
uh,
I can throw that out at you, how would you describe
I
it?
would I would say like it's kind of funny because being that me and Billy write the bulk of it, we both kind of bring our own little angle on it because Billy's very glam. He grew up, he loved Ace Frehley and Poison and Motley Crue and all that stuff. So he's all
Right?
about like, the hair metal, all that. And don't get me wrong, I listened to all that stuff growing up too. Where I come from more of a metal background, but I'm still a huge Van Halen fan and Tesla fan and all that stuff. So I kind of throw a little bit of edge in there too. And we've kind of gotten alignment now where he writes the bulk of the riffs and stuff, and I write most of the lyrics. But we both still kind of throw in our ideas here and there. But I'd say it's a blending of kind of if you had Metallica playing with Van Halen and Kiss, maybe a little bit, but
Yeah.
you have a female, but you've got a girl singer with it all to kind of throw it all
Right.
off.
Which is great. And
Oh
I
yeah,
think your band actually has a story to tell. And to me, your music is really evolving. I mean, 25 is going to be like the year for not only original music, but original bands, homegrown, as I call them,
oh yeah,
bands.
oh yeah.
And, the tribute bands are great. Now I have, I'm friends with Kings of Thrash. So I have
Nice.
a very special place in my heart for Jeff Young, David Ellefson, Chaz,
Oh yeah.
Chaz Leon, you know, and Fred Aching. Those guys are my friends. So I kind of take them out of that category because they're kind of a specialty uh,
Yeah, that
when it
that's
comes
almost like
to,
a jam band sort of because I mean
yeah.
those guys are all
So
superstars.
we're gonna take them out of the mix. But as far as like Vegas goes, we are
Oh, I'd imagine.
inundated with these bands. And a lot of my friends are in multiple bands. And
Hmm.
they'll have one solid, original band, and then they'll be in two tribute bands.
Oh yeah.
I
I've
mean,
got a few friends like that too. They've got their
yeah,
originals and then they got their tributes. And like I
I
said, I've
mean,
got some great friends that are great at it and everything else. It's just that I'm a songwriter, so obviously I'm going to be stressing more on the original stuff.
well, and me as a rock journalist, I mean, I can't do anything with that,
Yeah.
unless you're an original band with original material. Okay, you can throw
Hmm.
in a couple covers now and then.
Oh yeah. Oh
We're
yeah.
seeing a couple great metal covers here and there, which is fine.
Yep.
I've got no problem with that. But, it gets mundane. It gets
Oh yeah.
monotonous, even for the fan to come
Yep.
in there. Oh, here we go again. More Van Halen riffs. Oh, if I have to hear Paradise City one more time, I'm going to kill myself. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
It's
Oh
just,
no, I get it. And yeah, we
I
do the
mean,
same thing. If we do a cover, it's only just to kind of throw new people a bone. It's like I like throwing one
right.
cover in there, going, "Hey, here's something familiar," because I know you're going to glaze over hearing all this new material. But
Exactly. Yeah, and
otherwise,
there
yeah,
are
we're all
some, like
original.
I said, there are some great tribute bands. Even
Oh
Chad
yeah.
Leon from the Kings of Thrash, has his own Black Days,
Hmm.
tribute band to Soundgarden, which is freaking killer. It's the best one out there. But you know what I mean? You've got to. It's hard to separate, and these guys are my friends. It's
Yeah.
like I don't want to go see them perform, but I mean, I can't. I can't. I mean, I would have to be extremely intoxicated, and they would have to pretty much put a bag over my head because I don't want to see it. I could
Yeah.
handle it,
It definitely gets to be this just repetitive
Yeah.
after a
So
while.
no disrespect to them, but
Oh
let's
yeah.
get the original bands going. Let's get out there in 25 and show these tribute bands that there are still original music bands out there.
Exactly. Exactly. And I always say there's no excuse. I always get the same thing. It's like, well, we like the tributes because it's familiar. It's like you can look up any of these bands on the internet these days and go find their songs. It's so much easier than it used to be.
Right.
And so there's no reason that you can't get familiar with the material if you choose to. You just
Exactly.
got to go
I
out there and
mean,
do it.
it's great. Like if you're out with the girls or you're out with the guys, hey, let's go see Paradise City cover band or whatever.
Yeah.
It's cool. But every week there's like
Oh God.
5 or 6 bands playing out. I'm like,
That's that's how it's gotten here. It's hard in DFW to be a rock or a metal act and
yeah,
actually get to book shows. There's so few venues now. Most of them
yeah.
have closed down, either turned into patio bars or they just do nothing but tributes now.
And see, that's the problem because, well, they know the bars, I get it. Okay.
Yeah.
If they
Yeah, it makes
have
some
those
money.
tribute bands in, they're going to bring the bar's going to go crazy. They're going to
Hmm.
order food all night long, which is great. But let's think of the rock fans. Let's
Yeah.
think of the fans that really want to hear original material, see an original band, and just something new.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, it seems like everybody's just locked into this not 80s, 90s, early 2000s era and they don't want to step out of it and you're just like there's been better stuff since then. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's a fight we're constantly fighting down here, and it's just one of those that we try to put on eventful shows so that way people are like, "Oh crap, I missed that," so they want to see the next one. So
Yeah. And
that's what we're trying to do.
unfortunately, Lou, that's what you got to do, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
and you got to go to shows and you got to sell a lot of merch and you got to mingle with your fans because that's what's going to get you followers. I
Oh
mean,
yeah, we're
TikTok
like Kiss.
is
We will throw our logo
crazy,
on
but
anything merch wise.
yeah. Now, how are you guys on social media? Are you comfortable with it or?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things you're always feeling it out, kind of throwing everything against the wall to see what works. So it's like me and Billy usually run the Instagram, and Billy will do some reels here and there, and he's on TikTok. And then we don't do Twitter as much as used to because it doesn't seem like there's as much effect on
Yeah,
that.
there's
But
not really going on.
Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, we're constantly putting stuff out,
Yeah.
constantly putting videos. And then, of course, we're making music videos to throw up on YouTube. We just recently did one for the Can't You See single that we put up on YouTube.
Right.
So
And
we're always
that's
promoting
amazing.
that. Oh yeah, we're
Yeah.
we're we're trying to work it, but it's always just trying to see what's gonna work because the internet's so fickle that if you
Yeah.
look too try hard, like, oh, we're trying to go viral, it's just kind of pathetic looking. So you kind of just got to
Well,
do your own thing and hope it
yeah.
sticks.
I mean, really, the TikTok is like amazing for engagement with your fans.
Oh yeah. Oh
The
yeah.
rock scene, let me tell you, has gone up about 80% thanks to TikTok because
Oh
bands
yeah.
are getting recognized and algorithmed that they
Hmm.
never would in their own hometown. So that interaction is super important still. You know
Oh
what I
yeah.
mean?
And
And
we do the goofy promos and stuff too. We done some for our bigger shows where they either look like an infomercial or something like that.
that's
Because
okay.
a lot of us come
That's
from the like,
okay. That's
oh
what
yeah, Billy's an actor. He's been in Machete and Alita Battle Angel,
okay,
all that stuff.
right. Yeah, that's what I
I've
read. Yeah,
Yeah, I come from a movie background. Erin's an actress too and a model. So
right.
we're all goofballs. So we can kind of do it all in house. I'm able to film and edit a lot of the stuff. And,
Yeah,
I,
which is
I kind of
good.
use them to act. So it works. We had some hot sauce we released and we put some goofy promo videos out for that and everything else. So yeah, we
Right?
try to insert some humor and get people to see the personality of the band too, not just throw music and nothing but that out there.
Exactly. Because that's what, as a fan, that's what I want to see.
Oh
I want
yeah.
to see, wow, that guy is really crazy. Look at that guitar. Or look at that drums. You know what I mean? So it's
Oh
kind
yeah.
of, you've got to get that engagement. You've got to get their attention. And
Definitely.
in 25, it's going to be all about getting your fans' attention
Oh
and
yeah.
keeping.
That's what we're striving for on this one is we're definitely going to really be pushing it hard this year.
Yeah, for sure. So let's talk about your upcoming shows. What do you guys got going on?
Well, right now we're working on something else to do for the hometown, because obviously not everybody can afford Gene Simmons tickets.
Right.
So it's one of those, he's not cheap.
Yeah.
So we're working. We did a headline show last year where we did a big production on there. We had Erin coming down in an angel outfit from the ceiling and all this stuff. So we're going to try to make it anytime we book something like that, we're going to make it an event.
Of
And so we're
course.
working on something like that right now with Trees, which is kind of our big original club down here. And it's kind of Dallas's equivalent to the
Well,
Whiskey, I guess.
that's a famous club.
Oh yeah. Trees definitely has a reputation. So we work with them a lot. That's usually where we play most of the time.
Okay.
And so we're working on that, the Gene Simmons thing, and then we're hoping late summer, early fall, we're going to try to hit the road a little bit. So we're trying to get all that coordinated. So it's right now this is the time of year where we kind of start regrouping and going, okay, what do we want to do this year? We're going to write a few new
Right.
songs. All right, do a music video. So we're in the middle of organizing it all and reaching out to people right now. So
That's
there'll be some
good.
announcements coming soon.
So when is that Gene Simmons show? Why don't we plug it right now?
May 22nd. It's going to be at House of Blues, Dallas. Tickets are on sale, but I don't think there's a ton left. But
Okay.
it's just us
Good.
and Gene. Yeah, there's no other acts. It's just us and Gene. So,
Okay, that's great. That's going to be an amazing show.
oh
So
yeah,
I'm looking
oh yeah.
forward to some TikToks, some live videos. Dave Tenner, if you're out there, you got to get on these guys because I can't wait to see the footage from that thing.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. We'll definitely be putting some video out and some behind the scenes stuff and
That's
everything
going to
else.
be
We did that with the
great.
Tesla thing too, so it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I actually did pictures for Tesla when they were had their residency here. So
Oh, nice.
yeah, they were
Love those
amazing
guys.
to
Frank
photograph.
Hannon's great. I love Frank. All those guys were nice as hell to us.
Yeah, they're super cool, man, and they're
Oh
still
yeah.
out there.
Oh yeah.
I
Oh yeah.
mean,
They're constantly touring.
they still sound amazing, which is
Oh,
great, and
definitely.
they're great live. So yeah, I bet you that was a really good experience for you guys.
Oh, we loved it. We loved every minute of it. It was great getting to play it, and then they put us up in the VIP box, so we got to watch the show from there when we were
Oh,
done.
nice. I've been up
And
there.
I'm a huge Tesla fan as it is, so it's just one of those things that is like I was loving every minute of it.
Oh
That
yeah,
was kind of one of those
they're
full circle
amazing.
things for me. I saw him on the Psychotic Supper tour way back in the day, and just getting to actually share a stage with him, it's like holy crap! It's like we've come full circle. I get to actually play with these guys now,
Oh
so
my
it was
gosh.
cool.
I remember buying that Tesla record at the record store
Oh yeah.
from school. I had my dad take me, and I could wait to get to my friend's house and tell her, look, you have got to get this cassette because it was a cassette back then.
Yep,
And
yep.
I'm like, you have got to listen to this. It is
Oh yeah.
amazing. You
Oh,
know, and
it's such a good album. Edison's Medicine's like one of my favorite songs
oh
by
my
them.
gosh, all the hits, they're
Oh
pretty
yeah.
cool. So talking about music, who does
Hmm.
the writing for your band?
Um, it's mostly me and Billy.
Okay.
Billy, when we first started, we both kind of just like brainstormed together. So a lot of the early stuff is a lot of both of us on there. And now it's kind of evolved a little bit where Billy's more of the riff guy and I'll do a lot of the lyrics, but then I'll do like fills and stuff. So we kind of bounce
Right.
ideas off each other, but it's because he's really good with riffs. He can just constantly come out. And I'm the same way with lyrics. I can usually write you lyrics in like 5 or 10 minutes of hearing the song. So it just got to the point where like, well, let's go with our strengths instead of constantly struggling to do the other end of it.
Right.
And so he comes up with a lot of the riffs now. I come up with the lyrics and then I kind of, show them to Erin and then Erin will put her own spin on them and everything else. But the most of the I'd say 95% of the songwriting is me and Billy and then the other guys kind of fill in their parts.
Okay, that's very cool. That's cool. So are you guys working on new material as we speak?
We are. It's like Billy's tossed a few songs to me. We're getting together this Sunday. We're gonna start throwing some stuff together. So yeah, it's one of those that basically over the he's been chomping at the bit basically during the holidays. Like, dude, we got to get together so I can write. I'm like, okay, I got to get caught up with everything else. But he's already excited. He's probably got like a whole album's worth of music that he wants me to hear, and then we're gonna sit down and pick out the best ones first and start on them. But these days it's kind of weird because it's like used to where you'd release an album and get a whole album ready and just kind of release it all at once. Now you kind of have to trickle it out because it's
Yeah,
just too much information for people. So you're like, okay, here's a single, here's
right.
a video for that one. So that's kind of how we do it now is if we write one, we feel like it's solid, maybe get a second one, run in the
Yeah,
studio, get it
everybody does
recorded.
that though. Because you
If
want
you
to
have
keep
to
the
these days.
attention going, you know?
Yep. Yeah, you kind of have to continuously put stuff out versus, oh, let's save it all up in one album and then release it. It
Right,
just doesn't
right.
work that way anymore. So the album we put out, we'd already put out most of the singles off of it. And then we just went, okay, here's the whole album if you need a CD, basically.
Crazy. Well, why don't you tell the fans where they can contact you to learn everything about your band?
Okay, well, Instagram is obviously where we'd like most of the people to find us because the more followers we get, the better for us. We're on Instagram at Lovesick Drug Band. It's pretty easy. And then YouTube, just look up Lovesick Drug. We're the only one on YouTube. There's a lot of music videos on there. There's some live stuff, interviews, all that stuff there. We got some behind the scenes stuff. I directed one of our music videos way back, so I did a little behind the scenes featurette for it. Um, and then Facebook, just look up Lovesick Drug, same thing. We're the only ones on there. And if
That's
you go to lovesickdrug.com, it will take you straight to our Facebook. But that's the main ones. TikTok, same thing. Lovesick Drug. If you look us up, we're on TikTok. And then obviously from there, it's just kind of one of those wherever we pop up, we'll sometimes Google ourselves going, oh, okay, we're here now. So
that's crazy. Well, why don't you talk about the members of your band and who they are?
okay. Well, I'll start with Erin since she's the front woman. We'll kind of work our way down. Erin Marie Garrett. She's a singer. She's actress, model. She's been on the cover of FHM. I think Maxim a couple times. All that. It's one of those. But she's not just a pretty face. She's actually got some pipes on her. She can sing.
Okay.
She's got a
He
very
does.
soulful voice. Oh yeah, she's got an amazing voice, and she's so easygoing. We got so lucky with her because you would think, oh, okay, singer, model, she's gonna be a diva. She is down for anything. She is just fun. So she's amazingly easy to work with, a great attitude. So we love her to death. We got so lucky having her in the band. And so yeah, it's one of those she'd always wanted. She was actually on in the lingerie football league back in the day.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, so she's tough. She's got a toughness about her, and you can hear it in her voice too. And so yeah, she's great. And then Billy Blair, famous for acting, but also a really good musician. He's buddies with Robert Rodriguez, so you see him a lot of stuff with Robert Rodriguez, Machete Kills, Sin City 2. He's an Alita Battle Angel, a lot of TV shows and stuff like. He's always working. I can't count how many
Right.
times we're like, well, we got to move rehearsal because he's got to go do a shoot. But also, excellent musician, good songwriter, good guitar player, and he's kind of the foundation that the whole thing was built around. He kind of gathered us all up. I'm Lou Morris. Same thing. I'm a musician. I'm kind of the flip side where Billy does a lot of movie stuff and then comes and does the music. I do a lot of music stuff and come do movie stuff. So I work on a lot of indie films, do special effects and stuff like that. it's one of those, I've been doing original bands since I was like 14.
Oh, wow.
So it's, yeah, I started songwriting real early on. I was just kind of like, it's cool learning other people's stuff, but I got stuff I want to do. So
Oh,
I,
yeah, for sure.
it, yeah, so I've always prided myself on the songwriting bit because I hate how many people think, oh, let me judge how good of a guitar player you are versus based on how you can play somebody else's stuff. It's
Right.
like, oh, can you play Welcome to the Jungle? It's like, yeah, but why do I need to? It's like, I got this
Right.
stuff I wrote here. Do you want to hear that?
Right. Why
So
should I play that?
exactly. I can't count how many people are like, do you know this? I'm like, yeah, but don't you want to hear
Who
some stuff I
doesn't?
actually wrote? So
I have guitars. I mean, I'm not a guitar player, but I'm sure
mhm.
I can whip it out, no problem.
Yeah,
I've heard
so
that many
I don't
times.
know. It's such a weird thing because I've said that before. You'd never go to a painter and go, "Let me see how good of a painter you are. Do a Monet," and you're like, "What about my stuff?" So it's so
Right?
strange with musicians how they do that. But so yeah, I'm songwriter, guitar player. I do the keyboard parts too on the studio, but I don't play them live.
But you're just the
Um,
jack of all musicians.
Kinda. I do a little bit of everything. I got an electric kazoo. I'm gonna break out at some point on an album.
There you
But
go.
and then our bass player is Fernando Salas. Um, he's normally a lead guitar player, and it took me forever to draft him in as our bass player. And I told him, I was like, dude, you'll have a lot of fun as a bass because it's something different, and you can kind of just be more casual about it. Where lead guitar is kind of stressful sometimes. You go, I got to nail this solo, but bass, he can have fun with it. And after a couple rehearsals, he's like, okay, I'm actually kind of really enjoying this. So
Oh, yeah, that's cool. But you
yeah,
know
so
what? We
he's.
look forward to hearing more from your band
Mhm.
and
Oh,
seeing
and
you
oh,
guys on the road.
let me make sure to include Chris because the drummer always gets
Oh,
overlooked. So Chris
yeah, we got to
Kelly,
talk about the drummer.
yeah, Chris Carnage. He plays drums. Same thing. Him and Fernando were in my other band before, and so I've played with those guys for a long time. Chris is great. He's our answer to Lars, basically. He likes putting on a show behind the drums. He doesn't just sit there and play.
Oh, that's great.
So so he's great at that, and he's solid. And I always feel bad for him because every time we take a picture, he's like, "Yep, can't see me again." So
Oh, my
got to make sure I
gosh.
don't forget the drummer.
Yeah, we can't forget him. So tell us again about that show with Gene Simmons.
hmm
What's the date and where is it at again?
May 22nd, House of Blues, Dallas, Texas. We'll be on the main stage there. It'll be us and Gene. And you can go to the House of Blues site if you need to get tickets for it. I think there's a few left, but they're definitely selling.
Oh,
He
that's
ain't doing many
great.
dates this year, so he's
That's
definitely
amazing.
limited shows, and we've got lucky enough to be on one of them. So,
That's amazing.
oh yeah,
Well,
it's gonna be a good time.
congratulations to you guys. I'm
Thank
glad
you.
Dave kind of hooked us up together here tonight. I
Oh yeah,
definitely want us to keep in touch. I can't wait to see you guys perform live.
thank you. Well, hopefully we'll be out that neck of the woods sometime in the near future. I know we're talking about trying to do kind of like a little, Southwest run over there because I know Billy's originally from El Paso, so he wants to play for his
Okay.
hometown. So we're kind
Yeah.
of gonna try to work our way out there, maybe hit the whiskey or something, and then go there. So we might be able to do a little spur off in Vegas, possibly.
Yeah, there you go. Well, you take care. Tell the band I said hi, and
Oh,
I look
definitely.
forward to meeting you guys soon.
Okay, and thank you for having us. Definitely.
Thank you. Bye bye.
All right, see you later.
Wow. Lovesick Drug. This is a great band from Dallas, Texas, Fort Worth area. So definitely check them out if you get a chance. This is the Vegas Rock Goddess on the Rocks, Total Entertainment. Always like and subscribe to On the Rocks because really, you never know who I'll be interviewing next.